Hello and welcome back to my very wet and sodden garden. The video I'm making right now is not the video I wanted to make. The video I wanted to make was, I can't remember what it was now because my brain is switched over to making today's video and been concentrating on what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it and what it's going to be about, and here we are. Let me take you back to yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I came out here into the veg garden, which is quite overgrown with grass, and the plan was just basically spend the entire day, cut down the veg garden, get everything neat and tidy for the next week or so. And I started doing that, and I was out here with my string trimmer, weed whacker, and I was doing all the edging, and I was cutting everything back and making everything look pretty. Got to about 11 o'clock or so, 11:30, maybe 12. I can't remember exactly what time it was, but I was pretty tired at that point, and I still had a long ways to go, and I was very hot and thirsty, so I went inside to cool off and get a drink, get my strength back to come back out here and just finish the job. So I heard thunder outside, and I looked at the little radar, and I said, oh, it's over the river. It's not near me. It's fine. I'll go outside. It'll be shady because the clouds are out, and everything will be fine. And I started to do that, took Sophie for a walk, and then I looked at the radar again, and another cell opened up just to the west of me, heading right at me. Oh, okay, we'll get a brief shower. Maybe it'll just be really brief, and things will dry out by the later afternoon, and everything will be fine. It wasn't brief. It was one heck of a storm. In a matter of probably 30 minutes, we got probably easily 2 inches of rain, if not a little bit more. Then it stopped, thankfully, and the sun started coming out, and everything got very steamy because the sun started rapidly heating everything up, and all the groundwater just started evaporating. I was looking at my roof. The roof was just steam just coming right off the roof. It's pretty amazing. Then it started getting cloudy again. I was like, oh, this isn't good. I got to finish mowing the veg garden. It's a hot mess. And I came out here to the veg garden and I saw a couple of things, which is a little disappointing, and well, I'll show you guys here in a second. But then we got a second front coming through. First storm, we got maybe 2 inches in about 30 minutes. The second storm, we probably got close to 3 inches, maybe 2 inches, you know what, let's just say another 2 inches. It was a lot of rain, So over the past week, I want to say we probably got close to 8 inches of rain. The ground now is absolutely sodden. I've mentioned this on the channel before. If you're new to the channel, thank you. Welcome. Hello. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Anywhere from 6 inches to about a foot down, sometimes a little deeper. There's a layer of clay that runs through the property. It's all through the area, actually. So we get those heavy rains, and the water may disappear from the top 2, 3, 4 inches of soil, but then it sits on top of that layer of clay and it's slow to go anywhere. It all goes away eventually, but we just got that another, like I said, probably about 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches of rain yesterday, and now everything is just so when I came out after the first storm, and I know I'm a little all over the place with this story, I do apologize, but I saw a few things which is a little disappointing. Let's go take a look. So here we are in the no-cut flower garden, and all that rain has made a lot of the zinnias flop over. And this is one of the things I mentioned in a previous video, that next year I think I'm going to do some sort of fencing to help hold the zinnias up. Not only because of their own weight as they grow and they get top heavy and they want to naturally go over, but also because when we get these super heavy duty rains, it adds weight to the top of the plants, and then the plants flop over. And in some cases, like right here, the branches have all snapped. The stems here have all snapped down here. For this one zinnia, this is Lavender Queen, I believe. This one is pretty toast. Whoops, there we go. And I think I got another one over here. There we go. So I came out and I saw some of that. Some of these are okay still. So it's unfortunate. Here's one from its neighbor. Trying to detangle these here. There we go. That one's done. That branch snapped. And I'm sure over the next few days, as I look around, I will find more and more of this. I'm already looking and I can see a lot of the plants here need to be deadheaded. And I think that will help out as well to help these plants bounce back. So I think a lot of this is still salvageable, which is the good news. But the bad news, the sad news, unfortunately, is that the storm really did knock these plants for a loop. And that's the way it goes with gardening. You can't control the weather. We can try our best to predict the weather, and then we can try to prepare as best as we can for the weather. But sometimes the weather gets the best of us, and that's in this case what has happened here. But this is the way it goes. Sometimes the weather is a partner. Sometimes it's against us as gardeners. I think as gardeners, we would all prefer if the temperature never got above 80, never went below 40, the winds never got higher than, let's say, 15 miles per hour. And most days were partly sunny with the sun coming up at 6 a.m. and going down at 8 p.m. I think that's the way we'd all like it. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. We have to work around nature as much as we do have to work with nature. Let's do something a little bit more upbeat. For those of you not in the know, I had, I think, 4 tomato plants here. Cherry tomatoes, Spoon, and Chadwick, I believe. And they were going over due to the heat, the sun. This is what happens down here in growing zone 8A. It gets a little too hot for the tomato plants and they basically just start giving up. I cut the tomato plants out, but before I did, I took cuttings from the tomato plants. And right before that second storm, I planted them here in the ground, the same bed that they were in. I put down a little chicken manure fertilizer, worked that into the ground soil, and then I planted these 2 cuttings, which both had taken root and they were growing on. So hopefully over the next month or so, they start growing quite rapidly because of the warm weather. And then maybe in September, October, I start getting some more cherry tomatoes off of them, which would be absolutely lovely and an excellent end to the year, so far as the tomatoes are concerned. I have 2 types of seeds here that I'm going to plant up as part of my fall garden here. And the first one is sweet basil. Now, I have sweet basil right here. But even though I kept cutting the sweet basil back, the leaves started going over, even though they hadn't flowered, because they say that once the basil flowers, the taste of the leaves change. Now, these are still edible. They're just a little bit more bitter, and if I wanted to make a pesto out of them, I would have to probably add in a bit of sugar into the pesto to offset the bitterness, and I don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some seeds here, which I have a ton of. And we're just going to plant a few seeds into the ground here, see what happens. And if I get a few more basil plants that come up that I can harvest from and maybe get a late season harvest from, all the better. And all I'm really doing is just sticking these in the very wet raised bed mix. And I'm putting 2 or 3 seeds into every hole. I got a couple more seeds here. I don't know what's going to come up, but hopefully they do germinate. Hopefully they come up. I'm not going to get super serious about these. It's getting a little later in the year and my brain is already moving over to all of the fall projects that need to get done, that have to get done, or that I want to do. So out of the couple of dozen seeds that I planted, I get 1, 2 plants. Fantastic. The one plant that I do want to plant that I haven't had much success growing yet this year, and maybe it's because of the heat or the lack of rain, which now is not a problem, is lemon gem marigold. I love lemon gem marigold. It's very low growing. I think it only gets like 12 inches high or so. But when you brush your hand across it, it has a very lemony smell, which is absolutely wonderful. And allegedly, possibly, theoretically, the marigolds keep, and maybe it's not this variety, maybe it's a specific type of variety of marigolds, but it keeps the predators away from your fruits and stuff. So in the case of the tomatoes, theoretically, the marigolds would keep the bugs away. Now I'm thinking The other advantage to doing a fall crop, as it were, of tomatoes is that as the temperatures get cooler and the days get shorter, many of the predators that are out now, the stink bugs, the leaf-legged bugs, they start to go away. So hopefully in September, again, hopefully when these plants are, September, October, when these plants are fruiting, I won't have as much pest pressure. But if I can grow some nice marigolds here in the bed as well, that would be a great thing. So we'll see. Maybe, hopefully around these plants, I do get a nice display of the lemon gem marigolds, and hopefully they'll help keep the pests away from the cherry tomatoes. Also, talking about the weather and the rain and all, one of the plants that has been absolutely loving the rain and has really started taking off now here in my garden is my turmeric. Previous week, they were about yay high. And then we got the 5 inches of rain. We got a little shower here and there. And then yesterday, like I said, we got probably 3, maybe 4 inches of rain. And now they seem to have grown at least a foot, if not more. So this is really great. They are, I believe, a tropical plant. So the heat and all now the moisture, these guys are just going for it. And another plant, as you can see here in the back, is my loofah, which I also believe is a tropical-ish plant. I'm not sure about the history of it or the origin. I'll have to Google that. Maybe I'll put that up in the community posts page there and do a quiz or something about that. But the bees absolutely love all the flowers. I'm gonna just let it keep going. I do see some vines that I want to trim back, because if you don't control the plant in any sort of way, it will overtake your garden, absolutely. So I see some vines that I'm going to be trimming back, and that's what I'm going to be doing over the course of the next few days at least, if not a week. It's just going through the garden, doing a lot of deadheading, propping up those zinnias, trimming up some loofah vine, and just general garden maintenance to try to get everything just to get it back into a little bit of control, repair some of the damage from the storms, and get the garden ready then for its fall stage, as it were. And this fall I have a lot of projects rattling through my brain. There's quite a few plants that I want to transplant. There's a bunch of plants that I'm going to be digging up. As always, there's the fall garden cleanup. And then this year also, I'll be preparing the ground for the potting shed, which I'm going to show you guys that whole process, what my thought processes are, how I'm going to be laying everything out, and so on and so forth. I, of course, be bringing you guys along for that entire ride. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video, because hopefully it'll be something a little better than what today's video is. There's a bunch of you that have been answering my quizzes lately. Thank you very much for that. If you guys enjoy that, let me know. If you guys would like me to maybe do the quizzes in a short video format, shorts, let me know. I've been kind of tossing around the idea in my head, maybe doing some of these quizzes and polls kind of in the short video format. Mostly like the quizzes. I'm not sure. But let me know your thoughts below. With all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.